Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tanner's Favorite Things. I am Tanner Knight, and today we have kind of a three-fer. I'll explain once we get into this box. Okay, if you didn't guess that this flat, skinny box that was very square contained something like a cymbal, then, you'd be correct. But we actually have three cymbals. Cymbal number one. Cymbal number two. And cymbal number three. So we have a 20-inch ride. And we have two 16-inch crashes. These are both Zildjian Avidus cymbals, so it's a pack of three that I picked up very recently, just an estate sale, I believe, where a guy was getting rid of a ton of cymbals, so we put together this little bundle. And I don't really have much history with this particular cymbal or whatever this is, but I believe this one is actually a Paiste. I don't know if you can make out that code there, but yeah, this one is a Ludwig stamped cymbal made by Paiste. And then this is just a regular old custom A medium ride, I believe, not a ping ride, just a medium ride. So let's go ahead and get a baseline for what my current cymbal setup is. I currently have custom A's for my crashes and ping ride. So let's go ahead and hear those before we swap them out with these and see what these new cymbals sound like. All right, so the three main cymbals that we will be dealing with today are these two crashes and this ride. So this is a custom A ping ride from 2002, I think we discovered. This is a custom A crash here, 18-inch, and this is a Paiste wild crash 18-inch. So we're going two Zildjian, one Paiste. We're gonna swap that with older cymbals because I just did a little bit of stamp reading and determined that the ride is probably from the 60s. The Zildjian crash is probably from the 80s, and the Paiste, I would imagine it's from the 60s or 70s since it is stamped Ludwig. It's a really interesting stamp. It says Ludwig, Chicago, but it also says Paiste, made in Germany. So that's what we're going to hear in a second, but let's go ahead and get a baseline. Today, capturing the sound, I have an array of PV microphones, the PVM 328 on the toms, 321 on the snare, 325 on the kick. No, sorry, it's an SE V kick on this drum. I have the PV mic on the other set. And then I have an AKG D5 on the hi-hat, and that's our mic complement today. So let's just go ahead and hear these cymbals on their own. Then I'll just play a short little groove. We'll swap them out and do the same. Here's the Paiste 18-inch wild crash first. All right, now the custom A 18-inch crash. And finally, the 20-inch ping ride. This one does not crash at all, but we do have a great bell sound. and a very usable edge sound. That's what that ride wants to do. It wants to ping in a jazz way, but let's hear a short groove utilizing all three of these cymbals, and then we'll swap them out. All right, cymbals are swapped out. Let's start with the Paiste one more time. I have to say, I think this is probably made from a different alloy than most Paiste cymbals because it's a lot paler. Looks like it has a lot more silver or nickel or something in it and less brass. So I'm not 100% sure what the makeup is of this cymbal, but it looks paler than the rest or any other Paiste cymbal I've ever seen. Okay, let's move on to the Zildjian medium crash, again a 16-inch. Both of these are replacing 18-inch crashes, so that's kind of cool. 16s are, you know, they have their own character. But let's hear this one in its own context. Got a pretty long decay, but that's a very classic sounding crash. This is probably one of the more recorded crash cymbals in history. But let's go ahead and hear a few other sounds. Just a little washier than the bigger 18s. Okay, I'm really excited about this new 20-inch ride, so let's hear it. Definitely noisier. I'll bet this one will crash. Loud. Interesting. It has the exact opposite characteristics of the 20-inch Zildjian custom-made ping ride that it just replaced. It has a lot more wash to the sound and a lot less ping. And I think it's most evident in the bell. It's a very dull sounding bell with the tip of the stick. It gets a little rowdy with the shaft, but you really got to kind of get aggressive on it to have it ring out. So this is a much quieter, softer ride that has a lot more noise in the sound. I don't know if that's good or bad, but let's go ahead and hear a small groove with these cymbals and maybe make a decision. Well, I think I can safely tell you that I don't love these cymbals more than I love the previous complement of cymbals, the Custom A's with the Paiste 2002 Wild Crash. Again, 18-inch crashes. They provide a little more body, a little more oomph, and I like that about those two crashes. So I might swap one of them out and keep the 16 over here and 18, or vice versa, I don't know. But I think that that might provide a little bit of variety. Those 18-inch cymbals do not sound anything alike, so it's not like they're too similar, but you know, a little variety never hurt. So I don't know exactly what I expected here. I guess I didn't have any expectations. Whenever you go into a new cymbal sight unseen, it's always an adventure. And I'll tell you right now, I got these cymbals because they were a good deal, not because I thought that they were the best sounding cymbals on earth. These are kind of like my third tier cymbals, we'll say. I have this Zildjian Custom A set that occupies the Superstars. I have an older Zildjian set for my Yamaha set that I really like as well. So I think that this set of two crashes and one ride might occupy a third set in my particular complement of cymbals. But it's always good to have another tonal variety just in case you need a splash or a crash that's a little higher, a little lower, a little this, a little that, you name it. So I would like to know what you think of these cymbals after hearing them with your ears. Do they sound better than the cymbals that were here previously, or are they just kind of middle of the road? I think if anything, they are middle of the road cymbals, which is why they haven't blown me away. But that's a good thing. You can do a lot with middle of the road. If they don't sound like absolute crap, then you can make it work and get some good tones out of these. And these actually sound pretty classic as far as just crashes go. And the ride, a little less so, it's a little washy, but it's one of those lighter rides that, again, if you need that tonal variety, you can pull it out and swap it out really easily and have a softer ride that you can pull from. So go ahead and leave your comments below with your thoughts. And if you can like and subscribe, that's always greatly appreciated and helps this channel immensely. So let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one.